Welcome back to the channel. I want to talk about something that nobody in your life is probably saying out loud. There's a trap, a very specific, very real, very carefully designed trap. And the terrifying thing about it is that it was built to feel comfortable. It was built to feel like success. You went to school. You got the degree. You got the job. You got the apartment. Then the nicer apartment. Then maybe the house. You got the car payment, the furniture payments, the subscription to everything, the annual vacation on the credit card, the retirement account you contribute just enough to not feel guilty about. And from the outside, it looks like you're doing everything right. But here is the question that haunts millions of people in America, the UK, and Canada in the quiet moments when nobody is watching. Why does it feel like no matter how hard I work, no matter how many promotions I get, no matter how many raises land in my account, I never actually get ahead? Why does financial freedom feel like it belongs to another category of person entirely, not someone like me who is doing everything they were told to do? Because here's the truth that the system never advertises. The advice you were given, go to school, get a job, work hard, spend what you earn, retire at 65, that advice was never designed to make you wealthy. It was designed to make you productive. Productive for an economy that needs reliable consumers and reliable workers showing up every single day. There is nothing wrong with working hard. There is nothing wrong with having a good job. But if working hard and having a good job is all you are doing, you are not building toward freedom. You are running on a treadmill that feels like progress, but never actually changes your position. Today, we're getting off the treadmill. I'm going to show you exactly what the middle class trap is, why it is so effective at keeping people stuck, and the specific mindset shifts and strategies that allow people to escape it and build genuine financial freedom. This is going to be real. It might be uncomfortable in places, and it is going to be worth every minute. Today we are talking about escaping the middle class trap. We are covering what the trap actually is, the 6 specific mechanisms that keep people inside it, and 8 powerful escape routes that real people in America, the UK, and Canada are using right now to break free. This is one of the most important conversations we will ever have on this channel. The middle class trap is not a conspiracy. It is not something any single person or organization designed to harm you specifically. It is a system, an economic and cultural system that produces predictable outcomes for the people inside it. And those outcomes are not financial freedom. Here is how the trap works at its core. You earn income, primarily, almost exclusively from your labor, from trading your hours for dollars. And because your income depends entirely on your personal time, it has a hard ceiling. There are only so many hours you can work. There's only so much your hours are worth in the marketplace. From that income, you pay taxes. In America, the UK, and Canada, a middle-class earner typically pays 25% to 40% of their income in various taxes before they ever see it. You earn money. The government takes a large portion first. From what remains, you pay for your lifestyle. And here is where the trap really clicks into place. Because the lifestyle expectations of the middle class, the house, the cars, the schools, the vacations, the social obligations, the constant consumer upgrade cycle, are calibrated almost perfectly to consume the after-tax income of a middle-class earner, not to leave a comfortable surplus, not to leave meaningful investment capital, to consume essentially all of it. And what little remains after taxes and lifestyle expenses often goes into a retirement account that will not be accessible without penalty for decades, and a savings account earning barely enough to keep pace with inflation. So the cycle is this. Work hard, earn money, pay taxes, fund lifestyle, save a little, repeat for 40 years, retire just barely. This is not a path to financial freedom. This is a path to financial survival with a slightly more comfortable surface. The wealthy do not participate in this cycle. They have a completely different relationship with income, taxes, assets, and time. And understanding that difference specifically is what makes escape possible. Let me walk you through the 6 specific mechanisms that keep middle-class people stuck, because you cannot escape a trap you cannot see clearly. Mechanism number 1. Trading time for money exclusively. The fundamental economic reality of the middle-class trap is that income is entirely dependent on personal labor. You get paid when you work. You stop getting paid when you stop working. This creates an income ceiling that no amount of hard work or dedication can break through, because human time is finite. Mechanism number 2. Taxes structured against labor income. In every developed economy, income from labor is taxed at the highest rates. Income from investments, capital gains, dividends, is taxed at significantly lower rates. The tax code was written largely by wealthy people who earn investment income, and it reflects their interests. Middle-class workers pay the highest effective tax rates because almost all of their income is labor income. Mechanism number 3. Debt as a lifestyle funding tool. The middle-class relationship with debt is one of the most effective trap mechanisms in existence. Mortgages, car loans, student loans, credit cards, personal loans. The average middle-class household services multiple debt obligations simultaneously, and a significant portion of every paycheck goes not to building wealth, but to paying interest to financial institution. Mechanism number 4. Lifestyle inflation eating every income increase. Every raise, every promotion, every bonus is met by a corresponding lifestyle upgrade. Bigger house, newer car, better vacations, more subscriptions. The gap between income and expenses never widens because the lifestyle expands in perfect proportion to absorb it. Mechanism number 5. Investing as an afterthought. In a middle-class financial model, investing happens with whatever is left after everything else is funded, which is almost never enough. And the investments that are made, often through expensive, actively managed funds with high fees, frequently underperform the simple index fund alternatives that require no expertise or active management. Mechanism number 6. The retirement plan as the only exit. The only financial escape route that middle-class culture widely acknowledges is the retirement plan. Work for 40 years. Accumulate enough in your 401k or pension to fund 20 years of reduced lifestyle in old age. And then, finally, stop working. This is presented as the goal. This is presented as success. But genuine financial freedom, the ability to choose how you spend your time because your assets generate more income than you need, this is never discussed, never modeled, never taught, because the system does not need you to be free. It needs you to be productive. Escape route number 1. And this is the most foundational shift of everything that follows. You must stop measuring your financial progress by your income and start measuring it by your net worth and your passive income. The middle-class mindset is income-focused. How much do you make? Did you get a raise? What is your salary? These are the metrics that matter in middle-class culture. The wealth mindset is asset-focused. How much do you own? Net of what you owe. How much income do your assets generate, regardless of your labor? These are the metrics that matter to people building genuine freedom. Your income is not your wealth. Your income is the raw material from which wealth can be built, if you handle it correctly. A doctor earning $400,000 per year who spends $420,000 per year has zero wealth and negative net worth. A teacher earning $55,000 per year who spends $40,000 and invests $15,000 is building genuine wealth at an impressive rate. The shift is this. Every financial decision you make, stop asking how it affects your monthly cash flow and start asking how it affects your net worth. Does this decision make me own more or less? Does this decision generate more or less passive income? Does this decision bring me closer to or further from the point where my assets support my lifestyle without my labor? That single mindset shift from income to wealth changes everything that follows. Escape route number 2. The most important mathematical move in the entire escape strategy. The gap between what you earn and what you spend is your wealth-building engine. The wider you can make that gap, and the more aggressively you can invest what flows through it, the faster you escape the trap. Most middle-class households operate with a gap of 5% to 10% of income. They save and invest a small sliver of what they earn. At that savings rate, financial freedom requires 40 or more years to reach. People who escape the middle-class trap typically operate with gaps of 30%, 40%, 50%, or more of their income. They are radically intentional about keeping lifestyle costs low relative to income. They drive the ordinary car. They live in the sensible house. They find joy in low-cost experiences. They say no to the social spending that looks normal but silently destroys financial progress. This is not permanent deprivation. It is a temporary, or in some cases permanent, lifestyle choice made in exchange for something worth infinitely more than any specific purchase. Freedom, time, options. Widen the gap. Protect it aggressively. Invest everything that flows through it. Do this consistently for 5 to 10 years, and the trajectory of your financial life changes permanently. Escape route number 3. The cornerstone of every successful middle-class escape. Robert Kiyosaki made this concept famous in Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And despite its simplicity, most people never truly internalize it. An asset puts money into your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. That is it. That is the entire framework. A rental property that generates cash flow is an asset. A personal home with a large mortgage that costs more than it produces is a liability, regardless of how it is classified on paper. An index fund that pays dividends and appreciates in value is an asset. A new car that depreciates 20% the moment you drive it off the lot and costs you insurance, maintenance, and monthly payments is a liability. A business that generates income beyond your direct labor is an asset. A lifestyle inflation purchase on a credit card at 24% interest is a liability. The middle-class financial life is full of liabilities dressed up as assets. The house that is always being renovated. The leased BMW. The boat that sits in the driveway. These feel like wealth. They look like success. But they're consuming your income, not generating it. Escaping the trap means making a deliberate, permanent decision to acquire assets instead of liabilities with every dollar you can free up. Not all at once, not perfectly, but consistently, month after month, as a non-negotiable financial priority. Build your asset column. Let your asset column pay for your lifestyle. That is the escape from the trap. Escape route number 4. Breaking the single income dependency that is the defining vulnerability of middle-class financial life. The middle-class trap is most dangerous because it has one entry point and one exit point. One job providing one income. If that income stops, everything collapses. Financially free people break this dependency systematically. They build income streams that do not depend on their personal labor hours. Dividend income from investments. Rental income from property. Digital product sales. Affiliate marketing commissions. Business income from a venture that operates beyond their direct involvement. Royalty income from something created once. You do not build all of these simultaneously. You build them sequentially. You master one. You add the next. Over time, the income landscape of your life begins to look fundamentally different from the single paycheck dependency of the trap. Every additional income stream you build is another rope pulling you upward out of the trap. And every additional stream makes the whole structure more resilient because the loss of any single stream becomes a manageable inconvenience rather than a catastrophic financial emergency. Start with one, the one most aligned with your current skills, time, and resources. Build it to $500 per month, then $1,000. Then add the next stream, slowly, systematically, until the income architecture of your life is fundamentally different from where you started. Escape route number 5, the one that feels uncomfortable to talk about, but is absolutely essential to understand. Wealthy people pay lower effective tax rates than middle-class workers. Not because they are cheating, because they understand and legally use a tax code that was largely written to incentivize the behaviors that wealthy people engage in: investing, business ownership, real estate. In the U.S., long-term capital gains are taxed at 0%, 15%, or 20% depending on income. Compare this to ordinary income tax rates of 22%, 24%, 32%, or higher for middle-class earners. Investment income is structurally taxed at lower rates than labor income. Business owners can deduct genuine business expenses, home office, vehicle use, equipment, travel, professional development, before calculating taxable income. These deductions are not available to employees. Real estate investors can use depreciation to create paper losses that offset taxable rental income, reducing their tax bill without any actual cash outflow. The wealth building strategy is clear. Maximize tax advantage accounts, 401k, Roth IRA, HSA in the US, ISA in the UK, TFSA and RRSP in Canada. Build income from capital gains rather than just labor. Consider legitimate business structures that open tax deduction opportunities. Work with a qualified tax professional who specializes in wealth building, not just tax compliance. The middle-class worker pays the highest tax rate on every dollar. The escaping middle-class investor increasingly earns at lower tax rates on growing portions of their income. Over decades, this difference is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, sometimes millions. Escape route number 6. The highest return investment available to most people and the most consistently overlooked. Your earning capacity is your most valuable financial asset in the short to medium term. And unlike any other asset, you can dramatically increase its value through deliberate investment. Skills that command higher market value. Certifications, credentials, and expertise that make you significantly more valuable in your field or open doors to higher-paying fields entirely. The ability to do things that most people cannot do, or cannot do at your level. Command a premium that no amount of cost-cutting can match. High-income skills, digital marketing, software development, data analysis, sales, copywriting, financial analysis. Project management can be learned and developed to professional level within 12 to 24 months of focused effort. Many of these skills are accessible through online platforms for a few $100s in course fees and can add tens of thousands of dollars to annual income. Entrepreneurial skills, understanding how to identify a market need, build a solution, find customers, and scale a business. These skills are worth extraordinary amounts in the marketplace, and they can be developed through reading, mentorship, and most powerfully through actually starting something small and learning from the experience. Every dollar you invest in increasing your earning capacity has the potential to return 10x, 50x, 100x, or more through increased lifetime income. No stock market investment can reliably promise those returns. Invest in yourself, aggressively, continuously. Let your skills and knowledge compound alongside your financial assets. Escape route number 7, the one that requires the most courage, and possibly the most important one of all. Jim Rohn famously said that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And nowhere is this more financially consequential than in the middle-class trap. When everyone around you is spending the way you spend, dining out regularly, upgrading cars every 3 years, taking on debt for vacations, treating the retirement account as the only investment, that behavior feels normal. It feels inevitable. It feels like what people do. And the quiet voice inside you that wonders whether there is a different way gets drowned out by the social proof of everyone around you living the same pattern. Escaping the trap almost always involves, at some point, deliberately seeking out a different social environment. Not abandoning your friends and family, but adding new relationships. Relationships with people who are building wealth. People who talk about assets and passive income and investment returns. People for whom financial freedom is a real, present-tense goal being actively pursued, not a distant retirement fantasy. These relationships change what feels normal, what feels possible, what feels worth aspiring to. Find communities, online and offline, of people actively escaping the middle-class trap. Real estate investing communities, personal finance forums, entrepreneurship networks, financial independence groups. These communities exist in abundance today, and the mindset contagion that comes from spending time in them is one of the most powerful accelerants of financial transformation available to anyone. You do not have to escape alone. Find your people. Build alongside them. Escape route number 8, the final and perhaps the deepest mindset shift required to permanently escape the trap. Employees think about their salary. Owners think about their equity. Employees think about job security. Owners think about building something valuable. Employees ask how much they will be paid for their time. Owners ask how much value they can create, and then find ways to capture a portion of that value. This distinction is not about whether you have a job or own a business right now. It is about the mental framework through which you see your relationship with money, value, and time. An employee mindset says, my financial well-being depends on someone else's decision about what my time is worth. An owner mindset says, my financial well-being depends on my ability to create and capture value in a marketplace. An employee mindset optimizes for a higher salary. An owner mindset optimizes for ownership, equity, assets, income-generating systems that appreciate in value and generate returns independently. You can begin developing an owner mindset while still working a job by treating your personal finances like a business with income, expenses, profit margin, and reinvestment. By looking for opportunities to create value in your workplace that justify equity or profit-sharing arrangements. By building something on the side, however small, that you own entirely. The shift from employee to owner thinking is not a single moment. It is a gradual, deliberate reorientation of how you see yourself and your relationship with the economic world. But when it happens, truly happens, it changes everything. Because once you see yourself as an owner rather than just a worker, you start making decisions that build ownership. And ownership is how the middle-class trap is permanently, irrevocably escaped. I want to take a moment here and be completely honest with you, because this is the part that most financial content skips, and it is the part that matters most. Escaping the middle-class trap is not quick. It is not easy, and it does not happen on a straight line. There will be months where the progress feels invisible, where you are doing everything right, spending less, investing consistently, building your skills, and your financial picture looks almost identical to where it looked 6 months ago. Those months are not failure. Those months are the foundation being poured. They're the quiet work that makes the dramatic results possible later. There will be setbacks, an investment that underperforms, a side business that does not gain traction, a job loss, or an unexpected expense that dips into the savings that were supposed to go toward investing. Life happens. Financial plans encounter reality. Adjustments are required. That is not a reason to quit. That is not evidence that freedom is impossible for you. That is just the normal, inevitable, universal experience of building something meaningful across time. The people who escape the trap are not the ones who found a magic shortcut. They're not the ones who got lucky with a single investment. They're not smarter or more talented or more deserving than you. They're simply the ones who decided, at some point, that the discomfort of change was worth more than the comfort of the trap. And then they kept making that decision. Every month, for years. That decision is available to you. Right now, today. The trap is comfortable, but it is still a trap, and you were built for more than this. The middle-class trap is real, but it is not a prison. It does not have locks. It does not have guards. It has comfort, and the only thing holding most people inside it is the belief that it is simply where people like them belong. That belief is wrong. Financial freedom is not reserved for people born into wealth. It is not reserved for geniuses or risk-takers or people with extraordinary luck. It is built deliberately and consistently by ordinary people who decided to think differently, act differently, and refuse to accept comfortable mediocrity as their financial destiny. You could be one of those people, starting today, starting with one decision, starting with one escape route implemented this week. The trap feels permanent. The escape feels impossible. Until the day, months or years from now, when you look back and realize that the impossible was only impossible until you decided it was not. Make that decision today. Hit the like button if this video gave you real value. Subscribe for weekly content on building genuine financial freedom in America, the UK, and Canada. Drop a comment below right now. Tell me, which of the 6 trap mechanisms resonates most with your current situation? And which escape route are you implementing first? I read every single comment. And I genuinely want to know where you are in this journey. Go escape the trap. I will see you in the next video.